I'm Fjord.
I'm StarGazer. Today we'll be discussing Venus conjunct Sun in retrograde in Leo,
Jupiter entering Virgo,
Mars in Leo,
Venus trining Uranus,
and of course the new moon in Leo.
So, Jupiter is leaving fiery Leo and heading into studious Virgo on the 12th of August. Hopefully in that Jupiter and Leo time that we had for the past year, we learned how to be confident and face our fears and be courageous to express ourselves. Maybe with a bit of a push from that square to Saturn and Scorpio, made us a bit thorough and cleaning ourselves out so we're ready to go and be out, be expressive. So now that we're heading into Virgo, Jupiter Virgo says, yes, you're amazing and wonderful, but can you follow through? Saturn in Sagittarius on the 17th is actually going to be really nice, I think, for this aspect. They are a square, but Saturn's going to be focusing on the bullseye, and Jupiter in Virgo is going to be giving you a lot of detailed information about exactly how to get there. I think the trick to it is to not get lost in that information, is to sort through and see clearly and just focus and let those details come to you. What is the most useful information? This time is a good way to look at it. There's all this stuff Virgo wants to sort through, a lot of big details, and you just have to be willing to be in the moment and access that information and let go of what's not most useful in that moment. Jupiter in Virgo says, this process is not worthless. This is actually the process of something huge.
All right, so Venus continues the retrograde passage through Leo, and it's been a somewhat beguiling influence for our relationships over the last few weeks. The retrograde cycle offers a period of reorientation, of perspective that can be very useful, so we can align with our desires. And the most useful way to work with this period is to resolve and release inappropriate patterns of behavior in our relationships. Suppressed frustration in relationships has probably emerged over the past few weeks. If we weren't happy with how things were, there may have been a shit show, and that's fine. We're exactly where we need to be, and the questions and confrontations we're engaging now are really significant because they're putting us on the path towards meaningful, relevant love connections a little further down the road. Right now we have to do the work, but there are incredible opportunities this fall through numerous transits and conjunctions that are going to be incredible for relationships. Right now we just have to look within and make sure that who we are, what we're giving, and what we're getting is really equivalent with the values that we have. We reached the halfway point of the cycle as Sun and Venus conjunct at 22 degrees of Leo this Saturday. And this transit is going to trigger a lot of awareness about how we feel about all this stuff that's been going on. And at the halfway point of the cycle, we're sort of in a position where we can look back and start to begin to look forward. You know, you probably feel very different about things now than you did 3 weeks ago. In 3 more weeks, you'll feel different as well. So it's time to start looking forward. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's still not time to make a lasting or standing decision, but we're starting to get intimations that things are resolving and that this is the direction, or these are the directions we might want to take in the upcoming future. So this is good news. The other thing is that we're at the halfway point of the Sun-Venus cycle, which initiated at the end of October of 2014, so it's very likely what is occurring now is tied back to events, circumstances, meetings that occurred in the end of October of 2014. This would be similar to the opposition phase. Sun and Venus are never mathematically far enough away from each other to have an opposition. This is kind of similar to what an opposition phase would look like for them. So think back, we're like halfway through the cycle, 9 months later, and good luck.
Alright, so this upcoming August 19th, Venus will be trining Uranus and Aries. Venus is in Leo, And so with the trines, it shows us that they're in the same element, which means that, Leo, Venus is in Leo, Uranus is in Aries. They're both action-oriented, inspired signs. So Leo is very full of confidence, and Aries is much about independent action. So Uranus and Aries is like kind of the zeitgeist. Uranus shows us where change is happening, is focused the most at this point. So, we've had the Uranus-Pluto square for the past, God knows how long, forever, basically. So we're kind of familiar with that energy. And so this is sort of like a release valve in that way, where a lot of that energy is built up. So when it trines, like Venus especially, we're just like energized and attracted to things, and we want to relate in a good way. So Leo Venus is showing us like, we need to be bold and confident and take action. And with Uranus, this change is happening kind of at a rapid pace, and it's not really a considered change or action. It's just sort of wild, independent energy, like very disruptive. So Leo Venus is like, all this change is happening. I can just be bold and I want to be bold and confident. So I'm just going to do what I want. And like strange things could happen because of that. It's not really going to be a clear outcome, and that's okay. Actually, we should take that into consideration. We should be a little bit grounded about. Uranus can really zap us out and just fry us. We want to take advantage of that pulse of energy that's happening, but we want to make sure that we don't, burn out and not achieve what we want. You want to plug in with something greater than yourself, actually. So find out where that is, get plugged in, and share that energy with a larger group. But I would say that also, that burst of wild energy that's not connected to anything can be useful in itself as well. So potentially there's an area in your life where that just needs to happen. Maybe even like connecting with other people who are doing a similar thing, like the group effect of everyone doing that at once, can be really wild and liberating. So the new moon is going to be happening a little bit earlier than this, so that is kind of showing us, I think, the new moon will set your intention. Kind of be careful what you wish for.
So Mars is in Leo, and this calls us to bold, courageous, creative, and fun activities and actions. After the prior transit of Mars in Cancer, which can be somewhat dampening and emotional, this is going to be a really accelerated and fun ambience for the next 6 weeks. We have really exciting connections to Uranus and Aries, as well as the Mars-Venus conjunction in Leo on September 1st. So there's some really good things to look forward to. We will have a little tense square to Saturn. This is just par for the course. We're almost done with Saturn in Scorpio. This is the last one. So with Mars in Leo, it's all about taking bold, demonstrable action towards the goals, sort of represented by the area of your chart being transited right now by Mars. And so much energy in Leo right now already. Jupiter's just left, but Mars kind of comes in and takes up the reins. Whatever we didn't finish, we're going to start taking action on now. One thing to note with Mars and Leo energy is we're sort of doing some of these things to get attention for our activities or our actions. In a way, this is good because it makes us polish and refine and do our best, because we're doing this for show. It's not like an Aries or Sagittarius energy, which will be out there doing the thing for the sake of doing the thing. From Leo, Mars really wants to be acknowledged for its activities or for its merit and for what it's done. So it's important to take that, with a grain of salt as you're approaching whatever you're approaching. A lot of excitement and a lot of enthusiasm permeates in the next 6 weeks. This is, of course, all triggered by the new moon in Leo, which is conjunct Venus and trine to Uranus, and just sets forward this really energetic month of activities and excitement. So the new moon in Leo is on the 14th of August. It is conjunct Venus and in a pretty close trine to Uranus.
So the new moon, the moon itself signifies your own inner emotional life. And the area of the chart that it's going to be in signifies where you're going to get the best results for this new moon, for setting intentions in that arena. So really about setting your intentions about where you should be the most confident. Like, where do you need to be the most confident? Do you feel a little bit scared about expressing and sharing in that area of your life? This new moon is a way to focus on how to get to that place.
With Venus and Uranus collaborating with this new moon, two very important aspects. Venus conjunct suggests that love, relationships, and the things we've been going through with the Venus in retrograde are very important and integral to the success of our new ventures and the directions we'll be taking for the next 6 months from this area of your chart. Uranus collaborates very usefully here and says be innovative, try something new. If the old stuff isn't working, this is the time to experiment and be really innovative and creative and take a new direction, strike out wildly and with complete confidence that it may or may not work to anybody's particular expectations, but it will work.
So this new moon is happening just a few days before Venus does an exact trine with Uranus. This is really the best time to take a really wild leap of faith into the unknown, being self-confident. I think that one danger about this wild energy that's going on with the trine from Uranus is that we don't really think about other people in the situation, especially because it's Aries and Leo. Leo cares about other people, but only if they're giving them what they want. Not always true, but like that's the danger.
It's kind of true.
And Aries is like, I don't even care, I just need to do this thing. And so take a moment to think about how your actions are affecting other people and whether or not people really care how awesome you are. And so really just, keep that, don't necessarily let that stop you from going forward, but keep that in your mind and it will really help you keep things going rather than stall. Try to figure out a way to weave other people's needs into what's happening, into the discussion, so that we all together benefit from this wild, liberating energy.
And most importantly from Leo, just let it be fun. Because if it isn't fun, it is not going to work. It has to be entertaining or enjoyable to everyone who's participating, including yourself. If it's not, again, it's just not going to work out.
If there's any questions you'd like answered, please email us at stargazerastroatlas@gmail.com.